Looks like John Cena had some things to say, and so did the people who came to Raw in Brussels. These are my assorted thoughts on the March 17th, 2025 WWE RAW. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. I'm recording this Tuesday, March the 18th. It's just after 9 p.m. Eastern, and 24 hours ago, Raw had already been over for a few hours. Yeah, they were in Brussels, Belgium, an incredibly hot crowd, and I guess you could say somewhat expectedly, or as promised, they started off with John Cena. Somewhat unexpectedly for me, it was John Cena's old music, and he came out in the same outfit with the t-shirt branded for Brussels. You know, the last time in Brussels is now. He had his little towel with him, dropped it by the ring. And I guess you could say an almost reversal of what LA Knight did in Barcelona on SmackDown. He held out his microphone to the crowd in the ring, except instead of massive, massive cheers, it was massive, massive boos and people singing, John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks. Then he got the let's go Cena, Cena sucks. But he quickly put that one to rest. Long story short, and you should really go and watch this promo. It's like about 25 to 30 minutes, the whole beginning of Raw. It's really incredible. But yeah, long story short, he said he was in an abusive relationship with the fans for the last 25 years and he was breaking up with them. That's what he said at the end. But he made a point to not just single out those who have always said Cena sucks, but those who have said let's go Cena. He said that they were the worst. He even said he could identify them by their t-shirts. He was calling out people for wearing his merch, saying, what did you give to me? Well, they gave money to, his merch sales. But regardless of that, he's just basically saying they're just living up to, they're trying to put on his t-shirt with hustle, loyalty, and respect. He lives it. They just want to think they're good by having that on their shirt. He called the fans pathetic. They even singled out, he said this, and that kid over there, and the camera showed this kid in Brussels with this John Cena shirt looking completely dejected. And he said, no, you're not getting a new look. These are my clothes. I wear them because I wear them. You dress like me. I don't dress like you. To his fans, and no, you're not getting new music. I think this was brilliant because it's true. People, myself included, were all saying, okay, cool, we got to heel John Cena. What does that mean? What does this look like? Yeah, I'll boo him in the arena, but we know he's just playing the part. But no, he humanized it. He basically is like, no, I don't want to be a cool heel. That's the subtext. He even said, I'm not a heel. I'm not a baby face. I'm a human being. And this human being, which really is a character of John Cena, has been hurt by not being able to live up to the fans' expectations. So he's had it with the fans. And he scorched earth on the crowd, not just the crowd in Brussels, but the crowd everywhere, even his own supporters. I think this was necessary because, when The Rock turned heel, it was cool. It was heel Rock. And, you get to boo The Rock, but, he's still entertaining. He was able to flip back. He can still be he can still be the lovable Rock, though. This John Cena is like, no, I want everyone booing me. That's how you do heel work. He said basically, I don't care about any of you. And I was kind of stunned. I was taken aback. I was never a hardcore Cena fan back in the day. That was his big rise was when I really had sort of dropped out of watching wrestling. I was there in the Hulk Hogan era, the Attitude era, and recently, since 2023, I'm aware of who John Cena is. And I thought the heel turn was cool, but no, he doesn't want us to think it's cool. And I think this is absolutely needed. It makes him the clear heel against Cody Rhodes. Cody did come out. Cena tried to call him kid. And then to summarize, Cody said, enough. Who are you? I wanted to fight John Cena, but if I'm fighting this, I'm going to destroy this. I'm going to retire this early. And it was short and to the point. It wasn't the most important part of the promo. It wasn't Cody's best work, but that was the right choice. Cody had to come out because he said, well, character-wise, he has to want to talk to Cena, and he said he wants to talk to Cena, so he had to come out, but you don't want to detract from the impact of that promo, so you get Cody with the massive cheers from this crowd, and then he just drops the mic and walks away, and we get a sad-looking John Cena walking away as the crowd chanted, na, 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 hey, goodbye, as he walked out. This was the absolute right promo to do. This was a stroke of wrestling brilliance. And this was also the perfect crowd to do it to. A really hot European crowd. This Brussels crowd, they were on fire. And they weren't just on fire with, the chants for the baby faces. They were ready to boo John Cena, and they really got emotional. They really booed John Cena. Cena sucks. They were as loud as he was. Like I said at the intro, he had something to say, and so did they. In fact, he almost teased he wasn't going to talk at the beginning. He actually threw down the mic and went away like he did at the press conference, like he wasn't going to talk. But of course, he came back because of the massive boos. He said, "You're making it easy for me." It was very confrontational. The perfect promo in the lead up to WrestleMania in front of the perfect crowd. And yeah, I think the next promo exchange next week on Raw in Glasgow is maybe going to get a little bit more physical. Maybe there'll be some, a bit more of an angle. Maybe The Rock will come in. You got to sort of now tie Cena back in with the whole Rock storyline, but he made his turning heel make sense. It wasn't because The Rock could really give him anything. It's because he wanted to turn his back on the fans. Screw you, fans. That was the whole point of the promo. So he turned heel on Cody at Elimination Chamber, and now he turned heel on not just his detractors, but his supporters. The Cena Masterclass was clearly the highlight and took a lot of the oxygen from this show, but it wasn't the only thing we saw. We got a contract signing between Bianca Belair and Io Sky. A little fun interplay at the beginning, both sort of like, trading barbs, kind of, respect me. And they signed it. Oh, and Adam Pearce was so happy. Clean contract signing, very respectful. But of course, this is my brutality. Rhea came out, massive crowd popping. Huge crowd. They're popping for pretty much everything, but huge for Rhea Ripley. And she talked for a bit, but then it got physical, of course. And she ended up slamming Bianca Belair on the table and then Io Sky onto Bianca Belair. She picked up the contract from the ground. She signed it and walked away, refusing to give it to Adam Pearce. That was fun and snarky on Rhea's part, but in case you're wondering if they actually were going to make a triple threat match based on Rhea picking up a contract and just signing it, even though her name wasn't on it, nope. There was a backstage segment with Pearce trying to get the contract back from Rhea, and eventually she gives it back saying, "I'm in the match," and Pearce says, "No, you're not," walks away, and then Io and Bianca come, they all fight, massive brawl in the backstage area. So yeah, they had the little snarky bit. They're clearly going for a triple threat, but the triple threat is going to, I bet you Io is going to be like, "Look, I want to make this a triple threat. I want my hands on Rhea too." And Bianca will be like, "Yeah, I want my hands on Rhea too." Even though she, of course, wants to win the championship. And Rhea, they're at this point, they're all still baby faces. I still think Bianca might turn heel, but they're all baby faces. I think the snarky little bit in the ring led to this, and this is what's really going to get the triple threat match happening. Also, side note, the backstage area, this is just what was in the arena. They have graffiti, I guess, from bands that came through there and stuff, but this urban, gritty graffiti look in this old historic arena, because everything is historic in Belgium. But it looked really good, and it really added to the effect. It also added to the effect when Jey Uso cut his promo, gets interrupted by Gunther just before Gorilla, or what was passing for Gorilla. Pearce is there, pulls Gunther away. Uso goes into the ring to fight Austin Theory. It was a short match. I mean, it was good. Jey Uso won. Almost a squash. After the match, he tries to dive onto Theory and Waller, but in a rare time, Jey Uso messed up. I mean, people were sort of pointing it out. He didn't really do the dive over the rope properly, slipped on the rope. And then, of course, he picks himself up, gets back in the ring. Gunther attacks him. And as Gunther's attacking him, he even says, you can sort of see, people pointed out, you can see Gunther whispering, like, "Are you okay?" Like, in reality. But he does the choke out thing, but Uso gets rid of him. And Jey Uso, standing tall, picks up Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship, holds it up for a bit, and then basically he just chucks it to Gunther. Okay, so Jey Uso's getting some play in this whole build-up. And next week, it's him and a mystery tag team partner against A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Gee, I wonder who this mystery partner is. Who can tag with Jey Uso that's already in Europe, and even though he's on a different show, probably wouldn't mind making the trip over to do it? Well, it's obviously going to be his brother, Jimmy Uso. People are saying, "Who's this mystery tag partner?" It's Jimmy Uso. Maybe this will give Gunther a chance to come in and attack, and maybe he'll really hurt Jimmy or something, and that'll give Jay even more reason, unless they actually have a WrestleMania plan for Jimmy. I don't know. Maybe Jimmy will just be in Jay's corner. But, I mean, it could be somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jimmy Uso as the mystery tag partner. Speaking of short matches, it wasn't the only one. Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile was a short match. Ended when, Dakota won because Chad Gable came out to join the Creeds at ringside. And then the LWO, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, came and attacked them and chased them off. And Dakota won. I'm glad for that. I mean, I'm glad Dakota got a victory. I'm glad she got on this show. I mean, I think the Cena segment maybe went a little bit long, so that's why they had to cut some of these matches. But you know what? Short matches are okay. Get some people out there. And this led to another short match of the Creeds versus Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, LWO. And this one was cut short because it got interrupted by the mysterious masked luchador, who security chased away. Now, I was watching this with my brother, and he actually made a point that last week it kind of looked like it was Gable. This version of the masked luchador didn't really look like it could be Chad Gable. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's somebody else playing it. I think they're going to keep this mystery going. I'm still thinking that maybe it's somehow it's going to turn into El Generico, although I'm pretty sure that was not Sami Zayn in that mask. Not sure where they're going with this, but it's definitely interesting, and maybe ultimately Chad will end up becoming the masked luchador. Maybe there'll be three of them, you know, like the Spider-Man meme with both of them pointing at each other. I'm still intrigued by this. It's the second week they got it going. Maybe the reveal will be at WrestleMania, but I kind of hope it's a little bit before that leads to a match at WrestleMania, possibly a return. We'll see where it goes. A match that wasn't short but was really fun was the no-holds-barred match between Penta and Ludwig Kaiser. Both of them look great. Kaiser's doing some really good heel work here. Penta's amazing moves. His entrance, especially with this crowd, looked amazing. As he was leaving, he cut an interview with Kathy Kelly and basically said that he wants the Intercontinental Championship. Yes. Good. I think that that's actually a great match. I mean, I thought they were going towards Judgment Day, but I mean, let's go into the last match. Also given time to breathe, the main event for the Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker defending against Finn Balor. It was a good match, a lot of back and forth. And I was thinking Balor might win, maybe with some shenanigans. And when the Judgment Day came down, and Dom did try to cheat, but he ended up, he knocked down Breaker, but he ended up hurting Balor too. Breaker took advantage with the spear. And at the end, there was the Judgment Day members attacked Breaker until Penta came in for the save. And the show ended with Penta giving Breaker back the Intercontinental Championship, holding it up, and Penta going zero miedo. I think they were sort of they're probably testing out different opponents. I was thinking it might be a triple threat or a four-way or multi-man match, but probably not. I think it might just be Breaker versus Penta. But backtrack a little bit. Earlier in the Judgment Day Clubhouse, Dom, we found out, we are assuming it's the advice of Karrion Kross, who was seen talking to him in the hallway. Dom suggested, just as Finn was getting to like him again, suggested that Penta should be allowed into the Judgment Day. And Finn was like, Penta? But you mean the guy who just declared himself for the Intercontinental Championship, the title I'm going for? He thought Dom was a snake. I think Kross is setting him up. I think maybe Karrion Kross is manipulating the entire Intercontinental title scene. Of course, the funny bit there was the fact that Carlito observed that Dom doesn't even watch the show. But anyways, yeah, Karrion Kross was pretty busy. He got more words in with AJ Styles, saying, AJ's like, it's not going to work. And he said, I think it's working. I'm not sure what game he's playing. He's just trying to sort of maybe mess up the Judgment Day, somehow mess up, maybe get, maybe he's trying to get a multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship, which himself could be put into. Messes up the Judgment Day. That gets maybe Dom wants to be in that match. Finn does. Gets AJ interested in the Intercontinental title rather than Logan Paul. And somehow, if Penta's already got the match, maybe more people are added. I'm not sure what his game is, but he's obviously playing some sort of game, and I think it's around the Intercontinental scene and the Judgment Day scene. I don't think Dom's going to try and bring him into Judgment Day, but we'll wait and see. What I also enjoyed, though, about this segment at the beginning is you see AJ at the start of his interview. The crowd starts singing Phenomenal like they did in Lyon, and he just stops, like, listen to it, and you can hear the crowd going. I thought it was great. Crowd singing again. Crowd was a huge part of this show, and they were a major part of Seth Rollins' promo. You can almost say they were the most important part, because the only other piece of information Seth Rollins revealed is that he also is going to be in Bologna, Italy, when Roman Reigns and CM Punk are going to be there. So they sent one of the guys from that match to plug that match. Maybe it's just something to do with like Cena's filming schedule, because he's in Europe, so he has to be on Raw. So they're putting Roman on SmackDown, even though Cena's feuding with a SmackDown star and Roman's feuding with 2 Raw stars. But anyways, regardless, this it was still it wasn't really like a segment with real developments or an angle. It was just sort of Seth Rollins playing host in the second to last segment before the main event, introducing the main event, but a lot of it was just the crowd singing his song. And when I saw him come out, I even said, like, wow, this crowd is going to love singing that song. And they did. It was a really nice scene. And these were my assorted thoughts on the March 17th, 2025 WWE RAW from Brussels, Belgium. I'm loving these European crowds, these European shows. In this case, the crowd really played a part too, like they did last time, singing the songs and, cheering, making things feel bigger, but also making John Cena's heel turn on the crowd feel that much more impactful and powerful. Amazing promo, like I said at the beginning, and they couldn't have picked a better place to do it. Did you agree with my assorted thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. You'll get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos, wrestling opinion pieces, and assorted thoughts on SmackDown and Raw. I may have an opinion video this week, not sure, but I'm definitely going to be back with my assorted thoughts on SmackDown, and I'll catch you next time. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.